Thank you. I try. After yours, and that was the video thing. But they put his in here after Yehuda's. So I'll take his out.
Let me just stand here really quick to see how that's like. Yeah, that's fine.
So I'll stick right there. Okay.
Good evening and welcome to the Bader Hill High 2024 graduation celebration. So Shlomo Melech, King Solomon, he writes, Lakol Zman Va'es, that for all types of feelings, for all types of moods and modes, there's a time. There's a time to rejoice, and there's a time to mourn. So sometimes there, though, appears to be a mix of times, a mix of emotions. And graduation, each and every year, certainly is one of those. We're celebrating the graduates. We're celebrating what they've achieved and what we know they will achieve. But it's also sad to see them go. Some classes you want to extend high school for a year. So it's both happy, joyful, and sad. Also for our people, for the Jewish people, it's a time when daily we hear about heroes who are falling. And obviously our heart and our minds are with them, and we hope for the returning of all the hostages and true peace in the whole land, in the complete land. And yet, even with that in mind, as we're going to hear from each of these graduates, we're going to hear confident, perhaps too confident at times, proud, well-anchored and inspired young men who are ready to face the world with a strong identity. They know who they are and they know what they represent. And therefore it's also a time of rejoicing. So it's my honor to introduce the graduating class of Bader Hill High 2024. the graduating class of 2024.
On behalf of all my fellow graduates, many of my teachers, and some of the BHH staff, welcome to the 2024 Bader Hill High graduation ceremony. Thank you to those who joined us tonight. For those who didn't make it, I fully understand. Graduations are boring, and these hats don't look good on anyone anyway. A typical graduation ceremony involves spending 90+ minutes trying hard to remain quiet in your seat while waiting for the one person you came for to share a 2-minute speech or 20 seconds getting up from their seat to accept their diploma. Maybe it's to give adults a taste and reminder of what school can feel like when sitting in a way too long class you have fully zoned out of. Yet, for the uninitiated here tonight, I am pleased to share that BHH graduations are not typical. Tonight, you will sit on the edge of your seat, laughing and crying as you hear some of my favorite fellow graduates share their stories of growth and triumph, which are so powerful and inspiring. This is an interactive evening, so look for cues when a rolling laugh is appropriate or a standing ovation is called for. Should a graduate begin pausing frequently, fiddling, and touching their eyes, that's a cue that they are emotional, and a nice "aww" from the crowd may be just what they need. Thank you. Or make a difficult speech to get through even harder for them. You need your judgment for that. One final thing. You may hear frequent mentions of Rabbi Friedman. Who is Rabbi Friedman? Let's give a standing ovation to our dear principal. Though I may have only sometimes, over the past 4 years, communicated my appreciation enough throughout, often falling short in thought, speech, and action, right now, in front of everyone, felt like a perfect time. Rabbi Friedman, you may not know this, but you are one of my biggest role models. The way you carry yourself as a humble, smart, giving Jew who genuinely cares for every single student who has walked into this building was a gift for me and many others. Thank you. May many more students merit as I did to call you my teacher for many good, happy, and healthy years. Ladies and gentlemen, parents, families, and friends, sit up on the edge of your seats and open your hearts to the words, messages, songs, and even possible dances of tonight's BHH graduation. Thank you.
Please rise for a chapter of Tehillim for the safety and security of our brothers and sisters in Israel. Shir Lamalos Esa Enai El Haharim Me'ayin Yavo Ezri Me'im Adonai Osei Shemayim Ve'aretz Al Yitain Lamot raglecha, al yanum, shomrecha. Hine lo yanum velo yishan. Shomer Yisrael. Adonai shomrecha, Adonai silcha, al yad yaminecha. Yomam hashemesh lo yakeka ve'yireach belayla. Adonai yishmarcha mikol ra yishmor es nafshecha. Adonai yishmar tzeischa uvarecha me'ata ve'ad olam. A song for ascents. I shall raise my eyes to the mountains. From where will my help come? My help is from Hashem, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not allow your foot to falter. Your guardian will not slumber. Behold, the guardian of Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. Hashem is your guardian. Hashem is your shadow. He is by your right hand. By day the sun will not smite you, nor will the moon at night. Hashem will guard you from all evil. He will guard your soul. Hashem will guard your going out and your coming in from now and to eternity. You may now be seated. Sorry.
Parshas Bamidbar opens with Hashem instructing Moshe to take a census of the Jewish people. This is not an unusual or unexpected request from Hashem. No less than 5 times during the 40 years the Jewish people journeyed in the desert, Hashem had all the Jews counted. Yet, if you pause to think about this request from Hashem, it is somewhat puzzling. You could count things to determine their number, and why would Hashem ever need to count anything? He is all-knowing and all-caring. One would be concerned if you asked a parent how many children they have, and the only way for them to answer was by asking all of their children to line up against the wall so that they can count them one by one. Surely Hashem could answer the total number of his children without a moment's pause. So why count if you know the answer in 5 times? There's counting, and then there's counting. You can count how many things you have, but then there's counting because of how precious and dear something is to you. You know how many you have, but you hold each one in your hand and count them to show how important they are to you and how much they matter to you. Mitoch chiboson lefanav mona otam kol sha'ah. Rashi explains that Hashem counts the Jewish people out of his mighty love and care. The counting is not an inventory check, but an embrace and kiss from Hashem to his people. It is Hashem communicating to every person how much they as individuals matter, that they genuinely count. The idea of the preciousness and power of each individual is a message that powerfully connects to this graduation. This isn't just the graduation of the BHH class of 2024. We are all individuals who have our own responsibilities and challenges. Viktor Frankl said that man is self-determining. Free will means choosing what you do even in situations that are forced upon you. At BHH, we're all counted and cared for as individuals. Each was cared for and allowed to grow and shine. At BHH, you're not just another kid in a classroom. You can have a genuine relationship with teachers and staff. Now, where did this counting all happen? Bamidbar, in the wilderness. The wilderness was when the Jews were between Egypt and Har Sinai. They had just been slaves and were on their way to receive the Torah. The wilderness was a middle stage, a liminal space, if you will. In life, we too often find ourselves in these liminal spaces. whether it is between childhood and adulthood or adulthood and marriage, there is a time when you leave and come back to society as a new person. It is a time primed for self-discovery and genuine growth. In many ways, a high school is a liminal space in our lives. We begin exploring and discovering our voice, identity, and values. I could not have asked for a better midbar, a place of self-discovery than BHH, surrounded by such caring and wise people, incredible teachers, and even better friends. I'm taking a gap year in Israel, and I don't know where my journey will go. It feels so much like another liminal space. Transitioning from high school to adulthood, I can think of no better place for this experience than Israel. The Jewish nation today is also on a journey, one spanning our entire history, presently in exile, experiencing too often tremendous pain and challenges, yet looking towards our ultimate goals and destination, the return of our whole nation to a complete land with the coming of Mashiach. May it be speedily in our days.
The Elijah you see today isn't quite the same Elijah you would have seen in Chantilly Public High School in Virginia in 2021 and 2022. You would have seen a typical high school student with no Jewish resemblance besides the nose. Indeed, I began my high school journey in public school without kippah, tzitzis, or any other outward Jewish expression. Although I was fine with people knowing I was Jewish, I wasn't comfortable putting it on display. This nerdy 12th century cap and gown we're all okay with, but our yarmulkes remain headless. But with my parents' support, I made a decision to transition from public school to Hillel High for my junior year. When I first came here, I anticipated a significant culture shock. I assumed it'd be vastly different from anything I was used to. However, upon arriving at Hillel High, I was thrilled to see my long list of assumptions and expectations vanish. There were certainly differences, but the transition could not have been more natural. The people I've met were supportive, and I grew so much in Yiddishkeit despite the potential learning curve. Yes, there were some big changes, like keeping strictly kosher and Shabbos, but overall, the atmosphere was welcoming, especially when I realized the diverse backgrounds other students came from. Though we may have sailed from different ships, we all carry one flag. Now that I was in Hillel High, I was starting to express myself in a deeper way, in a Jewish way, every day. I was also surrounded by a group of students and staff who would do the same, make me feel comfortable with who I am. One highlight of my journey that stands out was my Torah learning experience. Last year, I started the year in the lower class, which taught the vital basics I had to begin with in terms of Chumash skills. My Chumash class was very inspiring and interesting, but I wanted to push myself to learn even more. So I switched to Rabbi Yafi's Chumash class, which provided me with even more skills to progress, even though we never answered our questions. This year, I continued into his Chumash class and his new Mishnah class, where a plethora of alleged Siyum trips motivated my success. My Judaic studies, especially the Halacha class, given over by our devoted and passionate Rabbi Wise, taught me how to experience every day through the Torah's timeless lessons and guidance. I sometimes wonder, however, if Mendel Wise would have outperformed him. Happy first birthday, Mendel. Overall, these classes have provided me with invaluable skills to learn full-time in yeshiva next year with Hashem's help. Beyond the learning, however, there's a much deeper part of being a student at Hillel High, besides for the dorm's drainage. It is the friends and memories we've made together, which will last a lifetime. Despite the separate paths we are departing upon, they're all guided by Hashem's hand. From the Farbrengens to the Shabbatons, I grew in my connection to others more than ever before, and a deeper part of myself. I could have not learned so much without the help of so many supportive people here. For example, I've seen people go on Mitzrayim before, but I've never really experienced it firsthand. It was so rewarding to be part of inspiring others. As I think about building my future, I have learned not to be intimidated by those who cannot yet admit that they like me, even if they are intense or neighbors from across the street. I'm so excited to continue helping the expansion efforts. I'm referring to the dorm. Throngs of students are flocking to Milwaukee next year with the Rebbe's blessings. It is my duty and privilege, with the utmost humility, to thank Rabbi Bassman for all he's done for me, my family, and all the Beta Hill High family. Your endless efforts, accommodating demeanor, and visionary perseverance have impacted all of us, and more often than not, without us noticing or receiving a penny of credit. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And Rabbi Freeman, what can I say? The atmosphere you provided from within the school to the Shabbos meals that took place with the open doors of your home were beyond any expectation of care and kindness imaginable. Most importantly, thank you, Mom and Dad, for once again making the trip to Milwaukee to celebrate this milestone with me. I couldn't have done it without your ongoing support. As my journey at Hillel High comes to a close, may we complete our ultimate journey by going to Yerushalayim to build the Beis HaMikdash so we can praying all night long with Mashiach Tzidkenu.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty, proud parents, and my fellow graduates, I want to speak with you today about teenagers, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Being a teenager isn't easy. Expected to prepare for the real world, yet reminded that we are just kids. It's a time when our rooms can look like a natural disaster, but our arguments are as polished as a lawyer's closing statement. Teenagers are a potent blend of optimism and rebellion, seeking independence, forging our own values, and finding new ways to tell old people, the adults, that being told what to do is so last generation. Now bring an entire group of teenagers into a building for most of our waking hours, and you have a high school. Who would ever want to do that? Let me tell you about our high school, Beta Hill High. At BHH, the freedom and encouragement to ask questions without fear are everything. The environment of openness has allowed each of us to grow into our authentic selves. We were not forced into a mold or led down a narrow, predetermined path. Instead, we were encouraged to discover our unique strengths and passions given to us by Hashem and to cultivate them. Having the space to question, struggle, and grow pushes us to grapple with ideas at school, not just intellectually, but also on a deep and personal level. I most powerfully experienced this freedom of growth and discovery this past year in my Tanya class. A class, a period twice a week, that has moved me in a way I could have never anticipated. A class that has changed my perspective and focus. For those unfamiliar, the Tanya is the foundational text of Chabad Hasidic philosophy, authored by Rabbi Shner Zalman of Lidi, the Alter Rebbe. It delves deeply into the nature of one's soul, our inner struggles, and that within us resides in Neshama, a literal piece of Hashem, providing a path of spiritual growth and self-improvement. Tanya teaches that the key to winning our inner battle is the innate human ability to use our mind over emotions to rise above our base inclinations, that nagging inner voice to do evil, called the Yetzer Hara, and choose higher and higher spiritual and life goals. Hard work and consistency are required in this battle. Constant effort, self-awareness, and dedication. As I opened, teenagers often get a rather bad rap. Yet, teenagers are on a quest for self-discovery. This journey of finding our identity often leads teenagers to rebel against authority or resist being told what to do. Feeling misunderstood or constrained, which adults may describe as acting out, is an attempt at asserting our independence and individuality. As a teenager, walking into my Tanya class taught by an incredible teacher, Rabbi Wise, was a true blessing, offering me the grounding framework as I sought to find my identity and my place in the world. It gives me and can most definitely give others a sense of identity and direction, so valuable in life, especially as a teenager. Thanks to Beta Hillel High's open environment, a school that challenges us every day to be our authentic selves and recognize that we are all unique because Hashem has created each and every one of us in His image, I have the tools to take on this journey that Tanya provides. As we transition to the next chapter in our lives, let's continue internalizing the lessons and learning in our own lives, making wiser decisions, becoming better individuals, helping others, and serving Hashem with all our heart. Let us remember that our authenticity and uniqueness is our strength. There is a divine essence within every person, an eternal spark of godliness that connects us to the Creator. This godly power promises that we can accomplish anything. Every small step in overcoming our bad inclinations brings us closer to our divine purpose. And it is this journey, this continuous striving to be better and connect to our Creator, that truly defines our success. Thank you to everyone who has helped me along the way, and congratulations, class of 2024.
When I came to Beta Hillel High, sorry about that. When I came to Beta Hillel High 4 years ago, it marked a big change in my life, a new chapter, if you will. At the time, I had only ever been away from home for camp and the occasional sleepover. So coming to a school that's halfway across the country was something that was entirely new to me. It was exciting, yet daunting at the same time. But from the moment that I stepped foot into Milwaukee, and I mean literally at the airport, I was greeted by some amazing shluchim that brought me to a dorm I would begin to call home. This school has been way more to me than just some place that gives me a paper that I can hang on my wall after 4 years. It's been a place of tremendous personal growth and a second family. The warmth and support that I've received from Hillel High from the beginning has made the transition seamless and filled with joy. This past summer, I even convinced my family to move here from Massachusetts. So in short, this place, this school, sorry, is where students, is where teens can truly connect with every single teacher, create lasting friendships, make unforgettable memories, and even get a good education. Whether through engaging classroom discussions or incredible trips that take us across the country and even across oceans, every moment has been special. We have experienced unforgettable adventures together, built bonds that will last a lifetime, and learned lessons that extend far beyond all the IXLs and focus areas to create a tapestry of memories that will last forever. Now, they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. So why should I make you sit through all the thousands of words I could say about this school when I could just show you some pictures? And maybe, just maybe, you'll walk away with the same sense that we get when we say this place is our home.
Gam Zula Taiva. Gam Zula Taiva. This too is for the good. This is a quote I'm sure we're all familiar with. I started living this quote here at Beta Hillel High. When I came to Hillel High in 11th grade, I was struggling with where I was holding in my Yiddishkeit. This was my third school in 2 years. My poor mom. And that thing was going to be my last. One thing that rang through my ears these past few years was Rabbi Friedman's voice teaching us that every Yid is a Yid. This showed me that Yiddishkeit wasn't an all-or-nothing game, and my Jewish identity was able to come through in the most authentic way. I was able to start living my Jewish identity. I would spend my time beating up myself about all the little things I didn't do, like putting on tefillin, wearing a yarmulke and tzitzis, and not davening and going to shul. I realized there's more to Judaism than how many mitzvahs you do. That was a major turning point in my life. I started to truly love Hashem, no matter what He threw at me.
I knew it was for my best. It was Gam Zula Taiva. If I had come to Hillel High 2 years earlier, it may not have been the right place for me. That is Gam Zula Taiva. If my family didn't convince me to come back to move to Milwaukee, even though I didn't want to, I wouldn't have made this major change in my life. That is Gam Zula Taiva. And if everything didn't fall into place the way Hashem wanted, whether that be hardship or success, I wouldn't be here today. That is Gam Zula Taiva. With all this, I became happier, calmer, and more disciplined. Something I'm sure most of us didn't see coming. With all these ups and downs, I learned the most important lesson. Gam Zula Tova is real. Everything happens for a reason, and I'm proof of that. Say it with me. Gam Zula Tova. I think we could do it a little better one more time. Gam Zula Tova. I want to keep this short, so before I walk off, I'd like to give a few major thank yous. Ms. Bassman and Ms. Lilly, both of you played a crucial part in me standing up here today. Without your constant push and your dedication to making a plan that worked best for me, but also ensuring that I exceeded my own expectations is something I will forever be grateful for. Thank you. Rabbi Friedman, I'd like to give a thank you for accepting my challenges. You showed me the importance of accepting every Jewish soul for who they are. And without you, I don't think I would be who I am today. Thank you, Rabbi Avner and Coach Lachter. I have immense trust in you both. Thank you for helping me see who I really am and what I could truly accomplish. If I ever need someone to speak to, both of you guys are at the top of my list. Thank you to all the shluchim. You guys always brought life, light, and simcha into the room. I'm sure wherever you guys go next, you guys will be equally appreciated and loved. I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude to someone who's been my unwavering support throughout my whole journey. My mother. Ima, your love, encouragement, and sacrifices have shaped me into the person I am today. Your belief in me, even when I doubted myself, has been my guiding light. I came home one night, maybe a few nights, and I was ready to give up. It's too hard, I said. It's too stressful. Why do I need this? I want to drop out. But dropping out and giving up has never been in your dictionary, and wasn't going to be in your son's either. You encouraged, supported me, and never stopped believing in me. Thank you, Ima, and I promise you I'll exceed all your expectations of me. I'd like to thank Hashem. Through moments of triumph and moments of adversity, I have felt Hashem's active presence in my life, guiding me with unwavering love. Lastly, a message to my fellow classmates. The ride has been rough, but remember that the thing we learned here at Beitar Hillel High are lessons that we should carry with us for the rest of our lives. Even though we're all moving on to the next chapter of our lives, don't forget we will always be brothers. Thank you all for coming, and Gam Zula Taiva.
When I sat down to write this speech, I couldn't really think about what I wanted to write. Plus, I kept getting distracted by other events going on in the dorm and at school. A lot happens in a day, especially if you're a get-up-and-go-getter like me. So I thought about all the things that happened this year, from passing bedside inspection only because Rabbi Wise didn't look under my bed, to going to the gym with Brian Friedberg every single day after school to play basketball, from golfing with Ellie Mendelson to going on late-night walks with Jackson Hokut, from doing Bakiyas in Rabbi Rechavel's class to start the school day on a high note, to trying to master the art of finishing your homework before the teacher collects it in Mr. Choppa's math class on a not-so-high note. It was an eventful year, and it took a while to say the least. But I bring this chapter of my life to an end, I turn the page, and I begin the next one, whether that be taking a gap year, applying for college courses, or entering the workforce. I really don't know yet. But whatever path I decide to go down, Beta Hillel High has supported me with a keen sense of learning skills and understanding. They taught me how to work hard, to keep my eye on the prize, and when I fall down, I should just get back up again. I came to Beta Hillel High as a distant man. I had lost a lot of my Jewish roots due to not going to school the years prior. I had fallen behind, and I didn't want to catch back up. But due to my mother's insistence, plus the help of Menachem Dre and Yehuda Green, along with the comfort of knowing I had a handful of guys that I had already spent the summer with at Camp Lamanach High. But even with all that, I still didn't know what to expect, but if I were to expect something, I would have never thought it would be as amazing as it was. They greeted me warmly and happily, welcomed me in with open arms, and from that moment on, I knew that coming to Beta Hillel High was going to be the best buy that I could have gotten. It was a real steal. I came to my first day of school not knowing how to feel. Everyone had already had their schedule down due to the school year having started in September. And I felt like a monkey wrench. And without a moment to lose, I was thrown into a 10th grade English class taught by Mrs. Robbins, a 17-year-old in a room filled with people who were born when I was 1 year old. Even with the extended age gap, they didn't judge me based on my past, meaning that there was only minor teasing. They accepted me for who I was and what I had to add to the environment. I remember going to Rabbi Friedman's office not only for the hospitality and free snacks, or for the fact that I got to ditch class, but every time I went to Rabbi Friedman, he helped me. Whether it was the way I saw myself or the way I saw others, he changed me, leading me to become better as a student, but more importantly, as a person. God works the world in mysterious ways, and everything does happen for a reason, as my fellow graduate and previous speaker Yehuda Abramov said, Gam zu l'tova. And if it was not for that and Beta Hillel High, I would probably be now in public school, graduating high school in 1 year from now, a year late. But with trust in God and hard work, I was given the opportunity to take recovery courses so I'd be able to catch up and graduate as if I did not miss a year of school. And I will forever be forever be grateful and in debt to this school, spiritually and monetarily. Even though you weren't happy about me leaving home because it meant more responsibility for you, I'd like to thank my younger sister, Nessia Dovber, for helping me at home while also keeping up with her schoolwork. Soon I'll be back home, and you'll be back to not having to do as much as you do now. And the biggest thank you of them all to my best friend, the person who's always cheered me up when I was sad, been there for me through all my struggles, and made me the person I am today, my mother. Thank you for never... Thank you for never giving up. Even when life hit us hard, you were still there figuring out our next best move. And even though you couldn't make it here today, I'm still going to celebrate as if you were here. And I want you to celebrate back home as if you were here too. Because I wouldn't be here myself if it wasn't for you. And I thank you and I love you. And last, but certainly not least, thank you to my fellow classmates and dorm mates. Thank you for making my 2 years at Beta Hillel High one of the greatest experiences and feelings I've ever felt. Congratulations to the graduating class of 2024, and thank you.
I come from a city some may not know, Miami, Florida. There, Jewish high schools are not hard to come by. Yet, here I stand, proudly graduating from BHH. How did I end up here? When I first mentioned to my mom the idea of going to school in Milwaukee, she replied with a mixture of surprise and disbelief. Where in the world is Milwaukee, Wisconsin? Standing here tonight, graduating Beta Hillel High, is a testament to my power, my commitment, and my will. Tonight for me, as well as my family, we prove to the world that with a strong foundation and great people helping you, you can conquer anything. Transitioning to a new high school is no easy task. At first, adapting to a new environment was tough. Being away from home for the first time, I experienced homesickness like never before. However, the special care and support I got at BHH from my teachers as well as my new friends, it quickly melted my unease. The sense of belonging and community made me feel like this was my second home. Many people have thanked the teachers tonight, but that doesn't make it any less important or diminish the impact they've had on me. For the care they've gave me, as well as the other students in this school, we are forever grateful. I recall countless nights calling my teachers, telling them I have a problem, and without a second thought, they were with me to find a solution. I remember my first week here, learning from other classmates that I should fall behind in class, because that meant free cookies and tutoring in Miss Robbins' house. Having found out that I would be doing 3 credit recovery courses this year, I was at an all-time low, really thinking if I could make it through this year. Not knowing what my future entails, the fear of not graduating blinded me from everything else. Many times I questioned myself, why was the hardest year of my life my senior year? I'm finally at the finish line, and yet I can't see the confetti. But like I said before, the constant love and support from my teachers as well as my parents has led me to now stand here today, receiving my diploma and graduating from Hillel High with the class of 2024. This is what I will be remembering the most. One of, if not the most important parts of BHH, different than other schools, are the dorm counselors. The amount of effort they put in to each and every student, from the time a student comes in freshman year to helping the seniors get ready for graduation. They always figure out a way to help you out. I want to say thank you to each and every one of them for the impact they've had on my lives. And the memories we have and the connection we have will last a lifetime. For the past 2 years, I've been a part of the Hillel High basketball team. Even though we didn't win many games, the lessons I learned will follow me throughout my life. I had learned that, just like in basketball, life is not easy. It requires hard work and challenges to overcome. Through the team, but more importantly my coaches, I learned to be a leader, how to battle adversity, how to communicate with others, and most importantly, I learned that respect is not given, it's earned. I want to give a round of applause to Coach Lechter and Coach Avner for embedding that in every single student who's ever stepped foot on that court. My biggest thank you goes to my parents. The countless effort you have put in supporting me. The countless effort you've put in supporting me from kindergarten to this very night, we're standing here on stage, receiving my diploma. The late calls when I was sick, the moral support before tests, and the celebration you've had after. The flights back and forth, even when it was hard to see your boy leave, you knew I was achieving something greater. Thank you for being my role models, as well as my foundation. I love you guys, and you will never know how much you've done for me. Thank you, BHH, for believing in me and for teaching me to believe in myself. Thank you for showing me what true growth and genuine win entails. Hard work and consistency. Thank you for fostering a deep-seated faith and trust in Hashem. As I leave BHH today, these wins are coming with me. Thank you. Congratulations with the class of 2024. Guys, we did it. Thank you.
With your permission, I'm going to address myself to the graduates. After a year full of heart-to-hearts, Fabrengans, speeches, pep talks, one more speech. One more for the road. This speech will have one more rule, okay, one more instruction. And that instruction is, that rule is, no chess on Rosh Hashanah. Okay? No playing chess on Rosh Hashanah. Don't do it. So that's it. That's my farewell. That and the earnest, fervent wishes and blessings that you succeed in this endeavor. To never ever play chess on Rosh Hashanah. But now, give me the last few moments of your attention for a story, one last story, and then maybe I can explain. In his childhood, Rabbi Dr. Abraham J. Twersky, who was a very well-known Rav, psychiatrist, addictions expert, he was also a chess champion. In his own words, I could beat anybody. He was 10 years old. One Rosh Hashanah, there was a visiting rabbi staying in his house, his father's house, and the rabbi challenged him to a game of chess. So he hesitated. He said, on Rosh Hashanah? And the rabbi said, what's the problem? You're allowed to play chess on Rosh Hashanah. So he said, okay. They played a match. And then a second one. Later on, his father asked to see him in his study. His father, who was the rabbi of the community, asked to see him in his study. He came into the study and he found his father poring over a large volume of whatever he was studying. And he waited to be recognized. And after a long moment, his father looked up at him and said, you played chess on Rosh Hashanah? So he was ashamed. And he confirmed for his father that the rumor is true. He played chess on Rosh Hashanah. The rabbi said it was okay. So his father was astonished. Chess on Rosh Hashanah? Yom Adin? The holiest day of the year? Wasting time is bad enough. But playing games? You know, Rosh Hashanah is a solemn day. What were you thinking? Then his father was silent. And the young Abraham, he knew and he understood that, well, technically, yes, it's permissible to play chess on Rosh Hashanah, but it's not in the spirit of the holiday. It's hardly the appropriate way to spend the day. So he stood there silently, waited for his father to dismiss him. You know, to signal the end of a conversation, his father would say, "Geh gesundheit." So he was waiting to be dismissed. "Geh gesundheit," you can go. His father was looking back at his book, and after a long moment, he looked up at him and he said, "You beat him?" His face lit up, and he said, "Twice?" So his father smiled big and said, "Geh gesundheit." You can go. So Rabbi Twersky would tell this story often throughout his life. And he would point out that the quick question at the end of the conversation, you beat him, made the whole experience a very positive one. His father was very disappointed with his choices. His father was very upset. And he wanted to let him know. But his father adored him. And he was not going to let him walk out of his study feeling bad about himself That's not what it's about. So he left his father's study that day, not feeling hurt, not feeling resentful, but feeling remorse, proud for having won, and determined not to let down his father, who loved him so much. The idea that a Jew is a Jew is a Jew, somebody who, if you spend time out bringing mitzvahs to Jews, you often hear, I don't do that. I'm not religious. Or I do that, but my brother doesn't. He's not Jewish. It's like we do mitzvahs to be Jewish. It's like we do mitzvahs to earn God's love. It's like we serve him in order to be accepted by him. We're given mitzvahs because he loves us. So after this final instruction, no chess on Rosh Hashanah, I want you guys to leave this year and come away with this appreciation. We may have spent a lot of time over the last 2, 3, 4 years navigating through rules and regulations and a long list of do's and don'ts, rewards and consequences, and the constant din of teachers and coaches pointing out more and more ways to improve. But you must know that it comes from a great sense of respect and love. Leave here today knowing that it was never an attempt to make you worthy of admiration. It was an expression of admiration and love. My badgering you to do what's right and to stay away from mediocre is not because then you'd be precious and admirable. It's because you already are both of those things. I don't know if you've ever took the time to notice. I mean, look at the person to your left and look at the person to your right. You can't win them all. Have you ever stopped to notice what a great group of guys you are? It's a terrific group. Smart. Smart, kind, and funny, and loyal. And those are just the similarities. Then there's a slew of personal virtues for each one of you, and they will serve you well in life. So all the rules and the restrictions was an attempt to help to coax out the best in you. It would be painful to see you disappoint yourself. It would be sinful to let you disappoint yourself. And I'm endlessly proud of every one of you. So, do I want you to play chess on Rosh Hashanah? Or any of the other should-nots that we spoke about over the last few years? No. No, never. But it's not because of who I want you to become. It's because of who you already are. Hashem has blessed you with everything you need to get out there and be amazing. And we've already begun to see the beginnings of that. My hope is that you'll come to respect yourselves so truly and authentically that you'll come to see the countless rules, guidelines, mitzvahs, restrictions, not as an insult or a nuisance, but to see them the way a promising athlete sees the restrictions put on him by his coach. It's an expression of somebody who believes in you greatly and dearly wants you to grow into the best possible version of yourself. So boys, it's been a pleasure. and an honor. And as you grow in your self-confidence and inner strength, lean into your Yiddishkeit. Keep shouldering new mitzvahs and keep trying to understand Torah more, to understand Torah deeper and better. And don't be surprised when you come away with a deeper and a better understanding of yourself. Never play chess on Rosh Hashanah. Never. Never. But if you do, make sure you win. Now hand out the diplomas. So we'll do it for the record. For the record, we give out the diplomas in alphabetical order. Yehuda Abramov. $100 to make this picture your WhatsApp profile picture. Jeremy Dover. Lev Gelfman. Andy Mandelbaum. Ari Ribol. Malachi Rosenwald. Jeremy Schmidt. Elijah Sisong. Jacob Vaturi. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating class of Beta Hillel Hive 2024. Go, Jacob. Go. Elijah. Go, Jeremy. Go. Ari.